to serve from your higher self, living to serve and help other human beings on the planet. Because if you think about it, that's why we're really all here. We're not here just for ourselves. You would not exist. You and I would not exist if it were not for other people, if it were not for other human beings, if it were not for the Elon Musk, the Thomas Edisons, Nikola Teslas, the presidents, the leaders, the past, the Abraham Lincolns. We would not exist if it were not for other human beings, or at least our quality of lives would not be anywhere close to what it is if it were not for other human beings living from their higher selves to serve humanity. So I urge you to get in touch with that higher part of yourself to live to serve humanity. Don't just do the marketing to make money, the blah, 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 the status stuff, right? The cars, and I want this, and I want that. What do you want for others in terms of joy and inner peace? All right, that I can tell you that's going to give you a long life of happiness. And I know guys like Dalai Lama and Brendan Burchard and some guys that have passed, like Wayne Dyer. I know Stephen Covey was really good. They had that positive leadership approach to living versus now there's kind of a lot of guys with the push, hustle, look at me status. I got to prove people wrong. Like that's going to give you motivation maybe. It's a good start, but when you're ready, go beyond it. Go beyond it. Because even the leaders with the great wealth that are there, and I'm talking about Gary Vee specifically, is that guy he doesn't think he has ego, but he definitely has ego. He has a lot of ego and separateness from me compared to those who doubt me, those who prove me wrong. That's one of his main levers of motivation still. One of his main drive. You don't want that to be your case at, 43 years old, right? And I respect the guy. He's got everything. Yeah, you'll burn out. Alvin Timms is on Facebook. Because I'm live on Periscope and Twitter too. You'll burn out super fast if that's all you do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think Alvin's a guy that's got, he's got a lot of wisdom. You guys should check out his page. He's got a great story. I know he's been through hell and back. He's been through all kinds of stuff. So I think he's it can be a big inspiration to a lot of people, to help them, if you're in that spot, if you're feeling down, if you're suffering, if you're feeling lost and confused, you can get through it, right? That's what I'm trying to do, trying to help people, right? Because I've been there and stuff too. Maybe not as bad as a lot of people, but I've also probably been through a lot worse than most people who were in my spot where I'm from. Because I was thinking the other day in the car ride, and this is an important fact. This is a perspective, right? Maybe not a fact, but so you every path you take, every decision you have consequences. When I was 19, I decided a new way of life for myself. I was basically spoon-fed, do this, you'll be okay, work a stable job, live at home, don't have tons of bills, right? Save up money. You could do that, right? I could have taken that path and had way more money in the bank than I do now, have way more security, way less debt. I got into a lot of bad debt. I could have done all that, the safe route for 5 years, right? But I would not be, because what's funny is, maybe on the outside I'm not where I want to be, or I'm not big or successful the way people view me, but on the inside, with what I've learned with what I've been through, the experiences I've acquired, the wisdom, beyond just knowledge, but wisdom, and I'm not saying it to be arrogant, but I know I've acquired wisdom in years of trials, adversity, going through tough times, financially, emotionally, living out on my own, taking that path less traveled. Most people don't go that route because it's the hardest route. But the hardest routes are usually the most fulfilling routes and the most rewarding. So I urge you, if your heart is calling you to make a choice to go down a different path, that is, I want to build a business, I want to live a life of freedom, I want to, make my own beliefs, not just gradually, casually accept what everyone else around me believes, then go for it, right? It's going to be more rewarding when you're 30, 50, 80, and beyond. You're going to regret not living your truth towards the end of your life, even the middle of your life, right? So that's one thing I know I did really right was trying to live my truth early on, was going all in and doing that, right? So I don't want to get too off point with that, because I was talking about, look, if you're really hurting, empathy is a thing that's actually going to make you feel better. So the people that are saying empathy is propaganda bullshit, it's going to be weak and take away your masculine, you're not going to get the woman or the life you want, it's total utter bollocks bullshit. It's not true. When you empathize, you're being human. You're allowing others to be human with you. You actually will feel more joy and happiness and satisfaction with yourself and your overall quality of life. That's how it works. We're designed to be compassionate, right? Love is your greatest power. It's your greatest wealth. And that's why I feel so blessed. Is because I know I've acquired the greatest wealth that any man has ever saw already at an early stage in my life. At 24, I've acquired some things that a lot of people go a lifetime without ever acquiring. So I feel a responsibility and a duty to get out and share what I've learned and to help those of you who are still trying to get to that better stage of your life. And I'm not just talking about like career, I'm talking about like being a better person. Like being a better human being is what we're all really after. It's that we get bogged down from life and stress and what bad information is out there in the world, and then we get lost, we lose our way, and we stop striving for what matters most, right? And that's love. It really is. Love is the greatest power that you'll ever find. You'll notice the universe is more on your side when you're in love, when you're coming from love, when you're coming from your higher self, when you want the good and betterment for all. The universe is going to support you in ways that you could not comprehend before in the past. I can tell you, it's worked for me. I've seen miracles happen in my life, in all areas, from coming from my higher self and living to really try to fulfill my purpose, right, on the planet. So, anyway, I've talked for a little while. Thanks for joining, John. Thanks for joining, Vicha, if I pronounced that right. So I hope this brought some value today. It's also day 4 of the Move Your Money Muscles Challenge. So I urge you, get out and do a video. Do a video. Do what I did. I'm getting out, trying to help share my truth, right? Teaching the truth about empathy, about vulnerability, about compassion, right? These are qualities that men can have too. It doesn't have to be just the women of our society, of our world. These are qualities that men need to have too if we want this world to be habitable years to come. If we don't want to go extinct as a species, a lot of what Eckhart Tolle talks about is that too, right? I got his other book, A New Earth, and I've been through The Power Now many countless times, and where a lot of the destruction comes from is people living in their mind ego selves. They're living in these separate selves with these false constructions of reality, and they see division and separateness. And right now, that's what President Trump is doing. So I want to end on this note, is look, realize what Trump is doing as well, right? Like, he might have some things you're for, but the dude is he is a person of fostering racism, segregation, division. That is literally what he is doing. He's not pushing so much for as much as changes or policies or things he could be doing better for all, but he's talking about division so much, probably more than any president in president history for the U.S., right? That's probably accurate. He's constantly bringing up the past from a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, things that really aren't relevant at this point in time. But he's bringing it up because that's his ammunition. That's what he's got to go off of more than anything else. So realize what's happening, right? Look back on history. History is repeating itself. It's gradually repeating itself. So you and I have the power to make history not repeat itself, from like what's happening in Nazi Germany, where there is racism, segregation, division, right? The same thing's happening now in America, right? I know we all have different beliefs. There's going to be differences, beliefs, and etc. But realize what this guy's doing. It's not cool. Why does he have the need to insult LeBron James? Why does he have to insult LeBron James' intelligence when this dude, LeBron James, just opened schools for kids in his area where he grew up. Why does he have to do that? That's a big sign of weakness for those of you that get that, who are smart enough to realize that when you attack others, when you bully people, it's not a sign of strength. It's a sign of weakness. All right? So ask yourself, is that who you want leading our country? Someone that has to, agreed, man. I'm glad you see that over on Twitter. The warning signs of history are quite worrying. Absolutely, I agree 1,000%. So I'm saying, I'm just blatantly saying, look, you don't have to vote Democrat forever. But what I did is I was a former Republican registered person. Now I'm registered Democrat, and I'm voting tactically to prevent any major division from taking place in our country, because a lot of people in our country, whether they openly say it or realize it, they're acting so unconsciously and so racist, and so much hate is coming from themselves, right? There's people wanting us to build a wall. They actually that's so fucking stupid to actually, what happened to the wall in Berlin? What happened to the Berlin Wall? What happened to the wall over there in Germany, wherever it was? It got taken down, right? Eventually love wins. Separation, segregation, division is not forward progress. Realize that. There's a case in point for safety. There's a case in point for safety. Yeah, I understand that. Do what it takes to be safe. But we don't need a wall to be safe. That is over, and that's beyond. That is way far from what needs to be done. There are better things to progress the country in a progressive way than blocking out an entire country underneath of us. Right? So, what are ways we can help those in need rather than block away those in need? All right? So, something to think about is vote democratically, tactically, is if you don't want segregation and an environment where racism is being bred. All right? Vote democratically, tactically. I urge you. Right? Looking back 50 years from now, 5 years from now, you want to be on the right side of history. This Trump dude is not a good dude. He's not a good guy. Right? Now, I'm not saying you have to be Democrat or whatever or forever, but Trump is not a good guy. Donald Trump is not a good guy. Does not have a good heart. He's got some serious issues, and I hope that if you don't realize that, you wake up and you see what he's doing. You see what he's trying to do, right? He understands how much stupidity we have in this country, and he's using that to separate this country, and he's using it to breed more racism and division that already lies in the hearts of the American people. A lot of American people have racism and hatred in their hearts. They haven't healed and recovered from the past yet. They think that because you're different, you have different religious beliefs, you have different color of skin, you have a different background, they think that means you're dangerous, and that gives you the right to be racist. And it's just crazy. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Go out and make a difference. Do a video. I urge you to do a video. Share your truth. Make it right and good and just if you do share your truth. Don't go out and spew hatred and stupidity and idiocracy. We don't need more of that in the world today. We need love and compassion. We need assertiveness. We need positive masculine traits. We need togetherness. We need community. We need resolve. We need mental fortitude, right? We need personal development, right? The better you become, the better your world is going to come. I'll leave it on that. No, and get out and vote democratically to get this guy. If you're in Ohio, I'm from Ohio, vote Democratic. I can tell you, you're not going to like the next 4 years. You're not going to like the next 2 years probably with what Trump is doing. If you really have an intention to be a great person and you're continuing to be better, go out and vote Democrat to get this guy out of power tactically right now. And then when he's out, vote whatever the hell you want. But this guy is not a good guy, and he needs to be out. All right? So that's what I'll say and leave it on that. Have a great day, guys. As always, stay motivated.